What if living to 100 had nothing to do with rare genes, expensive supplements, or extreme diets, and everything to do with what's already on your plate every single day? Right now, your body is running powerful defense systems designed to repair damage, fight disease, and slow aging, but most people unknowingly shut them down with their daily food choices. Aging doesn't start in your wrinkles. It starts in your cells, your blood vessels, your immune system, and your metabolism. The shocking truth is that some ordinary foods quietly accelerate decline, while others activate survival pathways that protect you for decades. The difference between aging fast and aging strong begins with what you eat today. Most people believe that living to 100 is written in their genes, that longevity is something you inherit or miss out on at birth, but modern science tells a very different story. Your body is not a passive machine slowly wearing out with time. It is a living, adaptive system with built-in defense networks designed to repair damage, fight disease, and regenerate itself every single day. These systems are active right now as you listen, and the most powerful way to support them is not through expensive supplements, extreme diets, or complicated routines, but through ordinary foods you already recognize, foods that quietly communicate with your biology at a cellular level. Every bite you take sends instructions into your bloodstream. Those instructions can either fuel inflammation, weaken immunity, and accelerate aging, or they can activate repair, strengthen blood vessels, protect DNA, and support the microscopic systems that keep you alive decade after decade. Longevity is not about avoiding death. It is about extending health, keeping your organs resilient, your brain sharp, and your immune system intelligent enough to adapt as the years pass. Around the world, in regions where people regularly live into their 90s and beyond, the secret is not calorie counting or deprivation, but consistent exposure to foods that work in harmony with the body's natural defenses. Your immune system is one of the strongest predictors of long life. It does far more than fight infections. It clears damaged cells, removes early cancer threats, and maintains balance between inflammation and healing. Certain everyday foods directly train immune cells to respond faster and more accurately, reducing the chronic low-grade inflammation that silently drives heart disease, diabetes, and neurodegeneration. When inflammation stays controlled, blood vessels remain flexible, insulin works properly, and tissues age more slowly. Another hidden factor in longevity is angiogenesis, the body's ability to grow and maintain healthy blood vessels. Every organ depends on a rich, stable blood supply to deliver oxygen and nutrients while removing waste. Poor blood vessel health starves tissues and accelerates aging. Some foods naturally support balanced vessel growth, strengthening circulation without encouraging abnormal growth. This means better heart health, sharper cognitive function, and improved energy even as the years advance. Then, there is your gut microbiome, a vast ecosystem of trillions of bacteria that help digest food, regulate immunity, and even influence mood and brain health. What you eat determines which microbes thrive and which disappear. Diets rich in protective, plant-based compounds nourish beneficial bacteria that produce anti-inflammatory molecules and support the gut barrier. A healthy gut reduces immune overload, lowers disease risk, and improves nutrient absorption, all of which are essential for long-term vitality. At the cellular level, aging is driven by oxidative stress, DNA damage, and impaired repair mechanisms. Your body has internal antioxidant systems designed to neutralize damage before it accumulates, but these systems require specific nutrients and bioactive compounds to function efficiently. Everyday foods contain thousands of natural compounds that switch on protective genes, enhance detoxification, and improve cellular cleanup processes that prevent debris from building up inside cells. Longevity is also about metabolic resilience, the ability to maintain stable blood sugar, healthy cholesterol levels, and efficient energy production. Foods that slow glucose absorption, improve insulin sensitivity, and support liver function help prevent the metabolic chaos that leads to chronic disease. Instead of dramatic spikes and crashes, the body remains in a steady, efficient state that reduces wear and tear over decades. What makes this approach so powerful is consistency. These are not miracle foods eaten once in a while. They are simple, accessible items consumed daily, quietly shaping biology over time. Small signals repeated every day become powerful messages to your cells. Over years, those messages add up to stronger defenses, slower aging, and greater resilience against disease. Living to 100 is not about chasing youth or fearing aging. It is about aligning daily habits with the body's natural design. When you choose foods that activate protection rather than damage, you are not forcing longevity, you are allowing it. Your body already knows how to maintain itself for a long life. The question is whether your daily meals are helping or interfering with that process. Every time you eat, you are not just consuming calories to fill your stomach or fuel your muscles. You are delivering chemical information into your body that your cells immediately begin to interpret. Food is one of the most powerful signaling tools you interact with every day. Long before nutrients are burned for energy, the compounds inside food bind to receptors, activate enzymes, and switch genes on or off. These signals determine whether your internal environment moves toward repair and balance or toward inflammation and breakdown. Aging is not a single event that happens on a birthday. It is the gradual accumulation of damage when protective systems are undernourished and overwhelmed. Your body is constantly exposed to stress, from environmental toxins and infections to emotional strain and metabolic pressure. To survive, it relies on internal defense networks that include immune surveillance, antioxidant production, detoxification pathways, and cellular repair mechanisms. These systems evolved to respond to signals from the natural environment, especially from plants and whole foods. When the diet lacks these signals, the systems do not shut down completely, but they operate at a lower efficiency, allowing damage to accumulate silently over time. One of the most important instruction pathways influenced by food involves inflammation. Inflammation is not inherently bad, it is a necessary response to injury and infection. The problem arises when inflammatory signals are constantly triggered by highly processed foods, excess sugar, and damaged fats. This keeps the body in a low-level state of alert that gradually injures blood vessels, disrupts insulin signaling, and accelerates tissue aging. In contrast, many everyday foods contain natural compounds that tell the immune system when to calm down, when to repair, and when to stand guard without overreacting. At the genetic level, food directly influences gene expression through epigenetic mechanisms. This means that what you eat can change how your genes behave without altering your DNA sequence. Certain bioactive compounds act like switches that activate genes involved in detoxification, antioxidant defense, and cellular maintenance. Others suppress genes linked to inflammation and abnormal cell growth. These effects are subtle in the short term but profound over years, shaping how fast tissues age and how resilient organs remain. Your cells also rely on food signals to regulate a process known as cellular cleanup. Healthy cells constantly recycle damaged components to maintain efficiency and prevent toxic buildup. When this cleanup slows down, debris accumulates, contributing to aging and disease. Specific nutrients and plant compounds support these recycling systems, helping cells stay functional and responsive. Without these signals, cells become sluggish, less adaptable, and more vulnerable to stress. Blood vessels are another major target of dietary instructions. The inner lining of your blood vessels responds directly to compounds circulating in your bloodstream. Some foods promote flexibility and healthy blood flow, while others encourage stiffness and plaque formation. Over decades, these signals determine whether organs receive steady nourishment or slowly become deprived of oxygen and nutrients. The difference between vibrant longevity and early decline often lies in these microscopic interactions happening meal after meal. The immune system constantly scans the body for threats, including damaged cells that could turn dangerous. Food-derived signals help train immune cells to recognize what belongs and what does not. Diets rich in protective compounds improve immune accuracy, reducing the risk of both chronic infection and autoimmune overreaction. When immune surveillance works properly, abnormal cells are removed early, long before disease becomes visible. Metabolism is also shaped by instruction-based eating. Foods that cause rapid spikes in blood sugar send stress signals that push the body toward fat storage and insulin resistance. Over time, this damages organs and accelerates aging. In contrast, foods that provide steady energy and support insulin sensitivity communicate stability and efficiency, reducing metabolic strain. This allows cells to produce energy with less wear and tear. Perhaps the most overlooked aspect of food signaling is consistency. The body does not respond dramatically to a single healthy meal or a single poor choice. It responds to patterns. Repeated exposure to protective signals strengthens defense systems, while repeated exposure to harmful signals weakens them. Daily choices quietly sculpt biological behavior, shaping how your body ages from the inside out. Longevity is not controlled by one magic food or a strict set of rules. It is guided by the ongoing conversation between what you eat and how your cells respond. When that conversation is dominated by signals that support repair, balance, and protection, the body naturally moves toward a longer, healthier life. The immune system is often described as a defense force that only becomes important when you catch a cold or face an infection, but in reality, it is working every moment of your life. Its role extends far beyond fighting viruses and bacteria. It monitors the health of your tissues, removes damaged cells, controls inflammation, and helps maintain balance across nearly every organ system. A strong, well-trained immune system is one of the most reliable foundations of long life, and the way it is trained each day is deeply influenced by what you eat. From the moment food enters your body, immune cells begin to respond. The gut alone contains a large portion of your immune system, and it is in constant communication with the foods you consume. Certain foods provide signals that strengthen immune vigilance, while others confuse it, exhaust it, or keep it in a constant state of alarm. When the immune system is overactivated for long periods, it releases inflammatory molecules that damage tissues and accelerate aging. When it is undernourished, it becomes slow and inaccurate, allowing infections, abnormal cells, and chronic disease to gain ground. Inflammation is the key link between immunity and aging. Acute inflammation is essential for healing, but chronic, low-grade inflammation quietly erodes health over decades. It stiffens blood vessels, interferes with insulin signaling, and damages joints and brain tissue. Many modern diets continuously provoke this inflammatory state, forcing the immune system to stay switched on without resolution. In contrast, whole foods rich in natural bioactive compounds help the immune system resolve inflammation efficiently, turning the response off once the threat has passed. Immune cells require specific nutrients to function properly. Vitamins, minerals, healthy fats, and plant-based compounds are not optional extras. They are structural and functional components of immune defenses. Without them, immune cells cannot communicate effectively, produce protective molecules, or regenerate efficiently. Over time, nutrient-poor diets lead to immune fatigue, making the body more vulnerable to disease and slower to recover from stress. The immune system also plays a critical role in identifying and eliminating abnormal cells before they become dangerous. This process, known as immune surveillance, is one of the body's most powerful cancer prevention mechanisms. Certain foods enhance this surveillance by supporting the activity of natural killer cells and other immune components that patrol tissues for early signs of trouble. When these systems are well supported, threats are removed quietly and efficiently, long before symptoms appear. Another essential function of the immune system is maintaining tolerance, the ability to recognize what belongs in the body and what does not. When tolerance breaks down, the immune system may attack healthy tissue, contributing to autoimmune conditions and chronic inflammation. Diets rich and diverse, protective foods help maintain this balance by nourishing regulatory immune cells that keep responses appropriate and controlled. The gut microbiome acts as a bridge between food and immunity. Beneficial bacteria help train immune cells, teaching them how to respond to real threats while ignoring harmless signals. When the microbiome is diverse and well-nourished, it produces compounds that calm inflammation and strengthen the gut barrier. Poor dietary patterns disrupt this ecosystem, allowing harmful bacteria to dominate and triggering immune reactions that spread throughout the body. Aging itself changes immune function, a process often called immune aging. Over time, immune responses can become slower, less precise, and more inflammatory. However, this process is not fixed or inevitable. Research shows that dietary patterns can slow immune aging by reducing inflammatory burden and supporting immune regeneration. People who maintain diets rich in protective foods often retain stronger immune responses well into later life. What makes immune supportive eating so powerful is its cumulative effect. The immune system learns from repeated exposure. Each day's meals either reinforce healthy immune patterns or push the system toward dysfunction. Small, consistent choices shape how immune cells behave years down the line, influencing susceptibility to disease and overall resilience. Living longer is not simply about avoiding illness. It is about maintaining an immune system capable of adaptation, repair, and intelligent response. When daily food choices support immune balance rather than chronic activation, the body preserves its ability to protect itself across decades, creating the biological conditions necessary for a long and healthy life. Healthy blood vessel growth and circulation are silent forces that determine how well your body ages. Every cell depends on a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients delivered through an intricate network of blood vessels. When this network is strong, flexible, and responsive, organs function efficiently and recover quickly from stress. When it becomes damaged or dysfunctional, tissues are slowly starved, waste accumulates, and aging accelerates from the inside out. What many people do not realize is that the quality of this network is not fixed. It responds daily to signals from the foods you eat. Blood vessels are lined with a delicate layer of cells that constantly sense their environment. These cells respond to compounds circulating in the bloodstream, adjusting vessel tone, permeability, and growth. Certain dietary patterns inflame this lining, causing it to stiffen and lose its ability to regulate blood flow. Over time, this contributes to high blood pressure, plaque buildup, and reduced circulation to vital organs. Other foods deliver protective signals that keep this lining smooth and responsive, supporting long-term vascular health. One of the most important processes involved in circulation is the body's ability to grow new blood vessels when needed and maintain existing ones without excess or deficiency. Balanced vessel growth ensures that tissues receive adequate nourishment without encouraging abnormal growth that can fuel disease. This balance is influenced by natural compounds found in everyday foods. These compounds help regulate the signals that tell vessels when to grow, when to stabilize, and when to repair themselves after injury. The heart and brain are especially sensitive to vascular health. The heart relies on clear, flexible arteries to pump blood efficiently without excessive strain. The brain depends on a dense network of tiny vessels to deliver oxygen and glucose while clearing metabolic waste. Even subtle reductions in blood flow can affect memory, focus, and mood over time. Diets that support healthy circulation help preserve cognitive function and emotional stability as the years pass. Poor circulation does not happen overnight. It develops gradually as repeated dietary insults damage vessel walls and disrupt normal signaling. Excess sugar, unhealthy fats, and highly processed foods increase oxidative stress within blood vessels, leading to inflammation and micro-injuries. The body attempts to repair this damage, but without proper nutritional support, repairs are incomplete. Scar tissue forms, elasticity declines, and blood flow becomes less efficient. On the other hand, foods rich in natural antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds protect blood vessels from daily wear and tear. These compounds neutralize reactive molecules before they can damage vessel walls, preserving flexibility and function. They also support the production of nitric oxide, a molecule that helps blood vessels relax and widen, improving circulation and reducing strain on the heart. Circulation also influences metabolic health. Efficient blood flow ensures that glucose and fatty acids are delivered to muscles and organs where they can be used for energy rather than stored as excess fat. Poor circulation contributes to insulin resistance and metabolic dysfunction, which further damages blood vessels in a destructive cycle. Supporting vascular health through diet helps break this cycle, maintaining metabolic balance over time. The aging process naturally challenges the vascular system, but it does not have to lead to rapid decline. Populations with long life expectancy often share dietary patterns that consistently support circulation. These patterns emphasize foods that protect vessel lining, regulate inflammation, and support repair mechanisms. Over decades, these small daily signals accumulate, preserving blood flow and organ function well into advanced age. Even physical energy and endurance are tied to vascular health. Muscles require increased blood flow during activity to deliver oxygen and remove waste products. When circulation is impaired, fatigue sets in quickly, limiting movement and accelerating physical decline. Diets that support blood vessel function help maintain stamina and mobility, making it easier to stay active throughout life. Healthy circulation is not just about preventing heart disease. It is about ensuring that every tissue receives what it needs to function, repair, and adapt. When daily food choices support balanced blood vessel growth and strong circulation, they protect the heart, sharpen the brain, and preserve vitality across the lifespan. The gut microbiome is one of the most influential yet least understood systems shaping human longevity. Inside your digestive tract lives a vast ecosystem of trillions of microorganisms that function almost like an additional organ. These microbes help break down food, produce essential compounds, regulate immunity, and communicate directly with the brain and metabolic systems. Their collective behavior has a powerful effect on inflammation, disease risk, and how quickly the body ages, and this entire system is shaped day by what you eat. From the moment food enters the gut, microbes respond. Some foods nourish beneficial bacteria that support health, while others feed microbes that promote inflammation and metabolic dysfunction. When helpful bacteria dominate, they produce short-chain fatty acids and other signaling molecules that strengthen the gut lining, reduce inflammation, and improve immune balance. When harmful bacteria take over, they generate toxins that irritate the gut wall and leak into the bloodstream, triggering immune reactions throughout the body. A healthy gut barrier is critical for long life. The gut lining acts as a selective filter, allowing nutrients to pass through while keeping harmful substances out. Poor dietary choices weaken this barrier, allowing bacterial fragments to escape into circulation. This process, often referred to as metabolic endotoxemia, keeps the immune system constantly activated and contributes to chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, and accelerated aging. Foods that support beneficial microbes help maintain the integrity of this barrier, reducing systemic stress on the body. The gut microbiome also plays a central role in training the immune system. Early in life and continuing into old age, immune cells learn how to respond by interacting with gut bacteria. A diverse, balanced microbiome teaches the immune system to distinguish between real threats and harmless signals. Without this guidance, immune responses become exaggerated or confused, increasing the risk of allergies, autoimmune conditions, and chronic inflammation that shortens lifespan. Brain health is deeply connected to the gut. Microbes produce neurotransmitters and signaling molecules that influence mood, cognition, and stress responses. They communicate with the brain through neural, hormonal, and immune pathways. Diets that support a healthy microbiome are associated with better emotional resilience, sharper memory, and lower risk of neurodegenerative conditions. Over time, reduced inflammation and improved metabolic signaling help preserve cognitive function. Metabolism is another area strongly influenced by gut bacteria. Certain microbes help regulate how efficiently calories are extracted from food and how fats and sugars are processed. When the microbiome is balanced, blood sugar remains more stable, cholesterol metabolism improves, and fat storage is regulated. Disrupted microbial communities contribute to weight gain, fatty liver disease, and type 2 diabetes, all of which place heavy stress on organs and blood vessels as the years pass. The microbiome is remarkably adaptable, but it is also sensitive. Antibiotics, chronic stress, and highly processed diets can rapidly reduce microbial diversity. Once diversity is lost, the system becomes less resilient, making it harder to recover from illness or dietary lapses. Foods rich in natural fibers, polyphenols, and fermented components help restore diversity by providing fuel for a wide range of beneficial bacteria. Aging itself changes the gut microbiome, often reducing diversity and increasing inflammation. However, this shift is not unavoidable. Research shows that older individuals who maintain diets that nourish beneficial microbes often retain microbial profiles closer to those of younger people. This preservation is associated with lower inflammation, stronger immunity, and better overall function. What makes the gut microbiome so powerful is its responsiveness to consistent habits. It does not require extreme interventions. Small, repeated choices influence which microbes thrive and which fade away. Over years, these patterns shape immune tone, metabolic efficiency, and resilience against disease. Longevity is not determined by a single organ working in isolation. It emerges from communication between systems, and the gut microbiome sits at the center of that conversation. When daily food choices support a diverse and balanced microbial community, they create internal conditions that favor health, stability, and long-term survival. Metabolic stability is one of the most important yet least visible foundations of a long life. It refers to the body's ability to regulate blood sugar, manage fats efficiently, produce steady energy, and adapt to changing demands without falling into extremes. When metabolism is stable, organs experience less stress, hormones remain balanced, and cells perform their functions with less damage over time. This stability is not achieved through short-term diets or intense restriction, but through consistent daily consumption of foods that support long-term resilience. Every time you eat, your metabolism must decide what to do with incoming nutrients. It can burn them for energy, store them for later use, or allow them to circulate in excess, damaging tissues. Highly refined foods overwhelm this system by delivering large amounts of sugar and unhealthy fats very quickly. This creates sharp spikes in blood glucose and insulin, forcing the body into emergency responses that strain organs and blood vessels. Repeated day after day, these spikes lead to insulin resistance, fat accumulation, and chronic inflammation. In contrast, foods that digest slowly and contain natural fibers, healthy fats, and bioactive compounds help smooth out these metabolic responses. Blood sugar rises gradually, insulin works efficiently, and energy is released in a controlled way. This reduces wear and tear on the pancreas, liver, and cardiovascular system. Over years, these small differences in daily response translate into a dramatically lower risk of diabetes, heart disease, and metabolic decline. The liver plays a central role in metabolic resilience. It processes nutrients, detoxifies harmful substances, and regulates cholesterol and glucose levels. Diets overloaded with sugar and processed fats force the liver to convert excess energy into fat, leading to fatty liver disease and impaired metabolic control. Foods that support liver function help maintain balance, allowing the liver to manage energy efficiently and protect the body from metabolic overload. Muscle tissue is another key player in long-term metabolic health. Muscles act as a major site for glucose disposal, helping keep blood sugar under control. Stable metabolism supports muscle maintenance by providing steady energy and reducing inflammatory damage. When muscle mass is preserved, metabolic rate remains higher, insulin sensitivity improves, and physical independence is easier to maintain with age. Metabolic instability also affects hormones that regulate hunger and fullness. Frequent blood sugar spikes disrupt signaling hormones, leading to constant cravings and overeating. This creates a cycle of excess intake and storage that accelerates aging. Foods that promote metabolic balance help restore normal appetite signaling, making it easier to eat appropriate amounts without constant effort or deprivation. Inflammation and metabolism are tightly linked. Poor metabolic control increases inflammatory signaling, which further damages insulin sensitivity and blood vessels. This feedback loop drives many chronic diseases associated with aging. Consistent intake of protective foods helps interrupt this cycle by reducing oxidative stress and supporting anti-inflammatory pathways. Over time, this lowers the baseline level of inflammation in the body, preserving tissue function. Energy production at the cellular level also depends on metabolic stability. Mitochondria, the structures that generate energy inside cells, function best when nutrient supply is steady and balanced. Constant surges of sugar and fat overwhelm these systems, leading to inefficient energy production and increased generation of damaging byproducts. Stable nutrient signals support mitochondrial efficiency, allowing cells to produce energy with less damage. What makes metabolic resilience so powerful is its cumulative nature. The body adapts to patterns, not isolated events. One balanced meal does not fix metabolism, just as one poor meal does not destroy it. But repeated daily exposure to stabilizing foods trains the body to operate efficiently. Over years, this training preserves organ function, supports physical strength, and reduces vulnerability to disease. Long life is not sustained by willpower alone. It is supported by systems that quietly maintain balance behind the scenes. When daily eating habits consistently reinforce metabolic stability, the body becomes more resilient to stress, illness, and the passage of time, creating conditions that allow health and vitality to persist well into later decades.